to the first video on getting started in astronomy, here from the Greenwich Observatory, the historical heartland of astronomy in the UK. I've viewed a lot of the videos on getting started in astronomy on YouTube, but most of them seem to be about selling products to people. I wanted this series of videos to be about actually teaching people to learn astronomy and learn the night sky, so they can come away with knowing what they're looking at, where to find targets, and how to enjoy the night sky. So in this first video, I want you to use nothing more than your naked eyes and a planosphere in order to learn the night sky. By the end of it, I want you to know the positions and names of at least 2 constellations, more on that later, but hopefully many more. Now when you get your planosphere, make sure you get it for the correct latitude. For instance, this is 51.5 degrees north, which is good for Northern Europe, Northern USA and Canada. Okay, let's discuss why using a planosphere is the best way to learn the night sky. First of all, the planosphere represents the night sky at any particular point in time. It shows all of the stars visible to the naked eye up to magnitude 5. The brightest stars are shown by larger dots on the map. It's also interesting to note that these stars are only going down to magnitude 5 because that's what's visible, should be visible in heavily light polluted areas. This band here shows the Milky Way. While this won't be visible in a light polluted area, you can still see some potential objects, such as the Andromeda Galaxy, M31, the double cluster, and Orion Nebula M42. Another interesting thing it shows you is how the constellations appear and disappear throughout the year. As you can see, some stars become visible and then they disappear later on. However, the circumpolar constellations here never become invisible. These are the constellations that are going around the pole star here, or the celestial pole. So these are very good constellations to learn, and we'll get on to more of that later. So how do you identify what's in the night sky at any particular time of the year? Well, there are several rings here. The inside ring gives you the hours, a particular hour. The second ring gives you the days. The third ring gives you the months. So you simply have to get your current hour. So let's say it's 12 PM, which is here, midnight. And you bring it around to the current day, which is roughly 9. There we go. And that will give you the current sky at that particular time. Now to use it, you need to hold it above your head and point the direction, match the direction here, so the compass points to north, east, west and so on. You match that up so you point north and the north facing that way, but I'll show you more on that later, give you a physical demonstration, because I think that's the only bit that's slightly weird, but it's not once you've seen it demonstrated. Now we've got our night sky, there are 2 constellations I want you to be able to find in it by the end of this video, and that will help you learn the night sky as we go along this astronomy introduction. The first one of these is Ursa Major, which is over here, and that's known as the Plough and the Big Dipper depending on your country, and the other is Cassiopeia, which is over on the opposite side of Ursa Major, and that's like a strange outer-shaped W. Now, if you learn these 2 constellations, you will have a signpost in 2 opposite halves of the sky, allowing you to identify wherever constellations are more easily, because you've always got these 2 signposts to go by. So if you find that there's something you want to see in Pegasus, then you can go off Cassiopeia, so it's the closest signpost constellation, to try and go down and find it. So if you're out, after you've use this planosphere and you've learnt what those are, if you happen to be out in the street at night one time, just look up, try and refresh your memory, they should always be up there, it's a clear night, and recognise Cassiopeia and Ursa Major, and that will help you get started in learning the night sky. So, I've talked a lot about the stars, I've talked about some deep sky objects that are displayed on here, and how to use it, but I haven't talked about the planets. Now, usually that's because the planets are moving too fast to display on a map like this. However, it does have the elliptical line, which is this dotted line that arches over here. Now, the planets will follow this line, and so if you're going to look for a planet, it should just be somewhere along this line. However, there are a few tricks that you can use using this line as well. The first trick is to work out when the approximate time of sunset and sunrise will be. Now, the sun sets in the west. So if you have the current date, and for this we're using June the 9th, you can draw an invisible line between June the 9th to the pole star and move the disk round until the western horizon crosses this invisible line between June the 9th, in our example, and the elliptical line. So, you see it's still going, there. And if you look at the disk here, where June the 9th is on the hour disk, you'll see that it's roughly 8:15. So sunset should be about 8:15. Now, to do sunrise, we have to use the eastern horizon. Remember that the sun always rises in the east. So again, for this example, we're on June the 9th, and we're going to draw an invisible line between June the 9th and the pole star, like so. So we're going to take this round, and there's the elliptical line there. It's roughly around 4 a.m. Now, another interesting feature of this is that they put on the planetary tables, and this shows you the coordinates, so the degrees at which the planet is at a particular month on a particular year, and it's the first of the month. So you can see the roughly where it is in the sky. And this is only for the bright planets, because the outer planets aren't. Uranus is visible to the naked eye in ideal conditions, but it's not usually in a light polluted area. So they're only giving you the bright planets, and they can't do it for Mercury because it simply moves too fast around the sun. So, for instance, for Jupiter 2020, it should be 299 degrees on the 1st of June. So we'll put this for June, 12 a.m. midnight, 1st of June. That's 299, wasn't it? So look around. There's the degrees are right on the outside ring there. There we go. So it's probably, you can come in from there until you hit the elliptical line, and it should be around about there. Near Aquila, just under Aquila. So to sum up, what does this give you? It gives you a changing view of the night sky. It tells you what's in the night sky at any particular point in time. It tells you where to find it. It only shows you the bright stars, which means you won't be confused with an app that shows you dim stars that you have no chance of seeing. These are things you can actually spot with the naked eye, which allows you to learn the night sky and understand what you're looking at. The constellations, while not important in themselves as there are any named patterns of stars, are your signposts through the night sky to find the interesting targets such as deep sky objects such as the Great Globular Cluster and so on. Planospheres have been around for over 100 years now, and I thoroughly recommend it in order to learn the night sky. It's got everything you need there. It's not going to ruin your night vision by looking at that, and it's so simple to use. And once you know a few of the constellations, if you recognise a few of the constellations, your enjoyment of astronomy will increase greatly because you'll be able to get to the other things you want to see in the night sky. Okay, so you've successfully set the planet at the correct time and date. Now you want to use it outside. So to do this, you need to use a compass or a smartphone with a compass app on it, and then find north. Now hold the Planosphere above your head, and then circle it round to match north, shown on the Planosphere, with the actual position of north. and then the Planosphere will match the night sky. What I like to do is have a look at the night sky, take it away, look at the Planosphere, and carry on doing that. Of course, you need a red light torch to view the Planosphere, because without it, you don't really see much in the dark. So you don't actually need particularly a special red light torch. You can just get a red cellophane, wrap it in around a normal torch, and use that instead. It will work perfectly fine. But that way, you can look at your Planosphere, look at the night sky, and your night vision will remain good for us. Right, so now you should know the positions of the constellations Cassiopeia and Ursa Major. Look at the Planosphere at your particular time of year, and try and find some of the constellations near to those constellations, and then expand out from there. This should help you to learn the night sky. Gradually, you can increase your knowledge of the night sky by expanding from these two signpost constellations. In the next video, we'll discuss binocular astronomy, and what you get from that you don't get from a telescope, and how to get started in it. Well, that's all from me here at the Greenwich Observatory. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment below. If you like the video, give us a like, and please subscribe for more astronomy videos.